Hey, my darlings, welcome back to the podcast. It's evening time, it's 9:30 at night, but I was just ready to record this. I've just been pondering, I've been calm and regulated and had some quiet and peace of not using screens and not doing much and just doing a bit of thinking, so it feels good and it feels right. I've just been thinking about what I want to say and I want to record it now rather than in the morning, as was my plan. It's a nicer, calmer energy. I really am enjoying having some peace. It actually probably helped because I made a short video for social media that was just like a 2-minute mini meditation for mums to like wash off the day. So it probably helped that I actually did that and channeled that creatively and probably calmed myself down doing that. And also I cuddled my kid to sleep, which was really nice because she doesn't need it anymore. So that was just a nice thing to get to do, and I'm feeling really calm and settled from those things. What we're going to talk about today is how to be a happier ADHD mama, a happier ADHD babe, if you're tired and exhausted. But before that, let me tell you the little big thing. The little big thing was, did I say, oh yeah, I said 2 podcast episodes ago, the little big thing was my daughter cleared a plate unprompted, my little PDA daughter. And the little big thing for this week is that she cleared all her things. She cleared 3 things from the dinner table, and when I initially asked her, she was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that. I'll help you. I'll pass you one." And then she just did all 3 trips, and she's never done that before. So it's really beautiful to see the growth and see how much being regulated can have on you. Sorry, I got a message and got distracted. Sorry. I should turn those off while I do this. It's amazing when someone's regulated, the difference it can make. So if there's anything you can do to help your kids, to help yourself, it's focus on regulation, and not like little hacks, but actually overhaul your life with little shifts. Shift and align things until everything falls into place, and then suddenly you've got all these cogs going and it's like a well-oiled machine, and instead of life being chaotic and everything's falling apart all the time, it just runs smoothly. It's incredible once you get there, and every little shift you make can make a big difference. Anyway, let's not go into me teaching an entire program right now on a podcast episode. That would take me a really long time. Let's dive in. I've got 10 ways to be a happier, ADHD mom, ADHD mom, if you're a neurotypical mom, whatever it is. You want to be less stressed, probably less exhausted. You want to feel better, enjoy your kids more. You feel guilty if you're not feeling happy and enjoying their childhood. Well, here are 10 ways to do that without actually having to fix the exhaustion part of it. I'm not here to tell you, oh, well, you should have a break from your kids and find a babysitter and whatever else. Sometimes we can't do that. So here are 10 ways, 10 easy, simple ways that you can incorporate into your life right now. Number 1, first of all, lower the expectations. Allow the tired. Don't try and guilt trip yourself out of it or force yourself to do more or feel like the solution is for you to add more things on that will make you feel less exhausted somehow. If you add any more weight on, any more pressure on, it's just going to add to the exhaustion. So just let yourself feel tired, whatever it is. If it's something you can fix, like something you can stop doing or take away or shift so that's not going to take more energy or more pressure, and that will have you feeling less tired, go ahead and do it. But otherwise, just first of all, accept that it's happening, accept yourself, and have self-compassion around it. Everything has its time, and I'm going to take my watch off because it just vibrated again and distracted me. Shush. Sometimes it's just the period of life. Like, I've had times where it was just exhausting because it was taking a really long time to put kids to bed. So accept it for what it is. And then let's get into these other ways that we can increase the positive feelings for yourself on the inside, so you don't have to also feel emotionally tired and sad and negative or whatever it may be. So accepting it first. The second thing is, I'm going to shift these around. The second thing is going to be reduce expectations of self. As mothers, we think we need to do it all and keep it all together. And when you break it down to what all actually means, that is so much. It's too much. No wonder you're exhausted. There are basic things that need to get done, but beyond that, stop feeling like you need to have everything as the ideal. If your kids are fed and they're safe, that's good enough. Sure, all of us want them to also be smart and educated and happy and have good friendships and have good prospects in life and have a well-rounded, enriching engagement in various things in life. We want them to be good at writing. We want them to be good at sports. We want them to exercise enough. There's all these things that we can want. And then we want our house to be tidy, and then we want things for ourselves, and it's just too much. If everyone is healthy and safe and relatively happy, that's good enough. That's all you need to be doing. Anything beyond that is a bonus. So reduce those expectations of yourself. Take the pressure off, and you can still keep doing all the things, but just take that pressure off, or at least give yourself recognition for the things that you are doing. And if it feels hard, it's probably because it is hard. Now, number 3, have gratitude through the fog. When you get told that it goes so fast, so you have to appreciate it, and you're like, I'm sleep deprived and have like a toddler and a baby, or I've got 4 kids or whatever it may be, and it's just hard to enjoy it in the moment through the challenges. And when you're sleep deprived or exhausted or stressed out, like if kids are yelling and fighting each other all the time, you're like, how can I appreciate this? So we take that pressure off. This is all about taking pressure off. Take that pressure off as well. You don't need to force yourself to enjoy it. That's not going to help. It's not going to help to add guilt on that, oh, it's going so fast and I'm just going to wish my kid's childhood away and it's too hard and tiring and stressful while it's happening, so maybe I just won't enjoy it until they're grown up, and then there's nothing to enjoy because they're grown up. That is a ridiculous story, and it's unhelpful to say that to mums. That is those people reflecting back from having grown up kids. It's so easy once your kids get to like middle childhood and beyond to look back and go, oh, that went so fast and I wish I'd enjoyed it more. But those people are past like the really full-on years, and that's why they can, in hindsight, enjoy it more. So I'm going to teach you something completely different. I'm going to teach you to have gratitude through the fog. Instead of trying to enjoy it, what I recommend is to, this is kind of tying into number 4. Let's go into number 4 as well. Number 4 is be happy adjacent. That is to notice the things that could make you happy and to commit them to memory. So number 3 is having gratitude through the fog. So anything that you can still be grateful for through this fog of tiredness or emotional tiredness, do be grateful for it, but don't push yourself. For the things that it feels like you're pushing yourself, take the pressure off that and just recognize them. Because what actually happens is as time passes, you remember those things, even if you weren't able to be grateful for them at the time, or like the height of positivity about them at the time. In hindsight, you can feel positive and grateful about them because you committed them to memory at the time. I have memories where I know I was tired, I was probably ungrateful, I couldn't really just fully revel in it in the moment, but I was recognizing it like in a tired way. Like if you had a really tired day and your brain and body is a bit like a zombie, but you can see, oh, my daughter did this really cute thing, or oh, that was really sweet, that thing that happened, or what a lucky coincidence or beautiful surprise that happened. You're tired at the time, but you can still process it and commit it to memory in a positive way. And that is a really great hack for life, because then you're storing all these positive memories, even if they couldn't conjure up that positivity or energy in the moment because you didn't have enough energy for that. Later in the future, they can conjure up that positivity. And so you can have these mixed memories where you remember, oh, that period in my life, I was quite tired, I was quite stressed out, but I remember all these good things that happened. And often in hindsight, we can do that a bit easier. So don't feel that pressure to be enjoying it as it happens. But we're going to carry on, and I'm going to give you some little tips to try and enjoy it more as it's happening. So with that number 4, that be happy adjacent and notice the little things and committing them to memory, you can also be happy adjacent in the way that you're kind of almost happy, or you're doing a fun thing even if you're tired or stressed out. Maybe you're coloring in with your child and you are quite tired, but you have a bit of an inkling, a bit of a feeling that this is a really nice thing to be doing. Or maybe, let me just see if I've got this later. No, I don't. Maybe you could be watching other people having fun and playing, like watching your kids get along happily together. That can be such a great feeling. And you can absorb happiness and joy that way, even though you're tired. You can still experience that secondhand joy. Number 5 is to celebrate the little wins. So if you're tired but you can notice something and be grateful for something, then celebrate that. Don't have this expectation of yourself to be perfectly happy mum all the time. You just want to incrementally feel a little bit happier, and you want to do it for yourself as well. Don't have this outside pressure that you need to be a certain way for society or even for your kids. You want to be happy for yourself. And as long as you are reasonably steady to be around, or, if you get stressed out, apologize for your behavior, kids will be fine. Kids can see a varying of emotions and they will be fine. If they see you being kind to them, if you say kind words to them, if you help them, they will have a good view of you. You don't need to be like super engaged, happy mom. Like, leave that for the fun uncle that has all the energy, or the fun aunt or grandma, whoever it might be. But for yourself, celebrate any little wins. Anytime you engage in play when maybe you were a bit tired or reluctant or didn't want to, anytime you pause and listen to your child when you're busy, anytime you say yes to a request from them, anytime you push yourself a little bit to do something for them when you're already tired, because I know you probably do that. Celebrate any wins like that. Anything. And that, again, is about taking that pressure off and recognizing that you're already doing so much. Number 6 is to notice the choice point. Choice points are so powerful. We all have them. It's that little moment when your brain is deciding what to do next or how to respond to something. And for most of us, that's just automatic. We don't necessarily notice it. But when you can start to notice it, you can start to make intentional choices. And sometimes we will notice it and then overthink it. We'll think, well, what's the best thing to do in this situation? And then have all these thoughts about those expectations, that pressure, that guilt. Whereas if you bring it just into that choice point, what do you want in that moment? What are your intentions? Do you want to connect with your kids? Do you want to rest? Whatever you need in that moment and whatever you want in that moment, do that. And sometimes they're conflicting, but that's where we need to prioritize and say, well, do I need rest before I play with my kids? Maybe I say no on this occasion, but then next time I do it. Or maybe How can I do both of these things? You can rest and play at the same time, depending on your kids' energy levels, but you can play those games where, you lie down and the game is that mum's legs are a mountain. That one's from Bluey. Or have them drive cars around on your back. Whatever it might be. Sometimes you can achieve multiple things at once. But noticing that choice point is powerful for everything you do. A kid comes up and they want to talk to you. If you want to listen to them more often, it's in the choice point that you're choosing to listen more often. If you want to go outside and play basketball with your kids more often, it's that little choice point. Well, will I send the kids straight to bed, or will I go outside and shoot hoops with them for 10 minutes? Whatever it might be. Kids are fighting. How do you want to respond? It's in that little choice point that you make that decision. So that is powerful. And if you want to be happier, it's about noticing. It's useful to notice that and then make the choice that's supporting those intentions that you have for yourself and for your life and for the kind of person you want to be and for the way that you want to feel. Let's see. We must be up to number 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Number 7. Number 7 is devotion over discipline. So with your expectations, or rather your intentions, because expectations are more a rule and they can often be from other people, but intentions are, more intentional. That's about how you want to live your life, as I just said. With devotion over discipline, this is how we can be flexible in the expression of our intentions. Discipline is about actions. We think that we need to do a certain thing to have a certain outcome, but devotion is focusing on the outcome, being devoted to the outcome. What is your intention? Do you want to be more connected with your kids? Because what we often do is we take that end outcome and we go, well, I want to be more connected to my kids, so I have to do it in this certain way. I have to play with them. I have to read with them at bedtime. I have to do this. I have to do that. There are so many different ways that you can get to that same outcome. So if you can be devoted to the outcome, then you can be flexible in how you express that. So on a certain day, if you're too tired to do a certain thing, then there's probably a different way you can get to that same outcome or intention. And that's devotion over discipline. It's a really, really, really useful thing, again, for so many things in life, for your exercise, for your eating, for whatever intentions you have in life. If you can be devoted to that outcome rather than get bogged down in the way you think you need to act to get there, life will be so much more flexible and you'll be far more likely to get that outcome that you want. You'll be able to be consistent with it as well, rather than just having a tired day and not being able to do it. Number 8, recognizing that this too shall pass. The good and the bad. That's a great saying for both those things. Often it's used for the bad, right? This too shall pass. This is a challenge. I've gotten over challenges before. Kids are difficult in this certain way, but they grew out of things before. It can be really useful in that way, but also recognizing that the good passes as well. So when you have toddlers and it's a lot of work because you're having to get them dressed and you're having to micromanage a lot of things for them, that stuff can be challenging and hard, and you can be waiting for it to pass. But the thing is, when that passes, the other good things about toddlers or about that age will pass as well. The good always comes with the bad. So what are you going to focus on? Which one? And recognizing that this too shall pass can help reduce the attachment to it. It can stop it feeling so heavy, so serious, so much like it's going to last forever, because none of it is. So what do you want to focus on? Number 9 is perspective for the scheme of things. I should have written this sentence in a way that made sense. I need to write my notes in a way that I can just read it out and then go off that. I said, scheme of things, it may be smaller than it feels. That's not a whole sentence. So maybe whatever it is might be smaller than it feels. And that saying, this too shall pass, can help with that. Recognizing that there are seasons and that things pass. And in the scheme of things, if you are tired if you are grumpy, if you are stressed, if you are not being as fun and peppy and energetic as you want to be, don't feel like that's everything. Your kids have a long life. The days are long, but the years are short. A day, like, think of the amount of days you have with your child raising them. Like, say, even if you're thinking up to age 12, because that's, I think that's 90% of the time you spend with your kids will be done by the time they're 12 or something like that. Because it reduces as they get older and freer and more independent. So even if it's 12 years that you have with your child, if you have a stressful day amongst that, or if you're tired even for the first 8 years of their life, that's not everything. Your kids will remember how you loved them, how you treated them, if you were kind to them. They'll remember the things that matter. So again, take that pressure off and don't feel like you need to be this perfect mum who has it all together, who has a clean house, who cooks perfect food, who plays all the time. You can't do it all. And even those of us that recognize that you can't do it all often still are kind of striving to do it all anyway. Just remember what I said at the beginning of this episode, that as long as everyone is safe and fed, they're healthy enough, they're happy enough, because their happiness isn't your job. You can try to support them. But if that's happening, that's all that's really needed. You can't give them the absolute perfect life. And one day they'll go off and they'll be living their own life. So just do your best and love them the best that you can. Number 10 is let it creep in. Even if you're tired, even if you're exhausted, maybe you'll let out a smile. Maybe you'll move your body or do a little dance. Maybe you'll sing. Maybe you'll put on a funny voice. Maybe you'll write down some things that you're grateful for. Maybe you're journaling like I am. I keep a one-line journal of the things that we do each day so my kids can look back and go, oh, these are the kinds of things that we did. Or I remember that little memory. It's like taking photos, but it's a bit more detailed and easier to read and gives the dates and has a bit more in it. So letting little things like this creep in, and like I said earlier, celebrate them. Celebrate that you're doing these things for your kids and for yourself as well. Every little thing that you do that is bringing some joy into your life, even if it's not cultivating, like, what's the word? Like bringing up those feelings of joy, even if you're not really, really feeling it, that's because of how much energy you have. When you have more energy, you can feel it more. But if you're feeling the inkling, let that creep in and recognize that. So I've said smile, I've said move, I've said sing, I've said maybe you're gonna journal or write down gratitudes. Maybe you play with your kids. Maybe you respond in a way. Maybe you find yourself laughing at their jokes. These are ways that joy is infused into our life, and sometimes we don't remember or recognize that, especially those of us who are overthinkers or those of us who are neurodiverse. It's easy to, I guess we've got lots of chatter in our heads sometimes. So the positive things that happen, the little joys, are drowned out by everything else that's happening throughout the day. Or just even, it's the nature of raising kids. The good does come with the bad. The stress comes with the joy and the fun. Like yesterday, I felt pretty tired the last 3 days, but I've also still been achieving the intentions that I want to achieve. I went outside and I played basketball with my daughter tonight, and my body has felt kind of heavy and tired, but it was fun to shoot some hoops with her, and that wasn't for very long. It didn't take much energy and effort, but we made a little memory there. I did yoga before bedtime the other night, 2 nights ago, and that's something that hasn't been happening consistently, but I'm happy that it's involved in my life. It's happening in my life. And what I was about to say at the end, when I talk about what I'm letting in, is that I'm doing so much when I look at a larger sample size of time. Even if I'm not doing something every day, if I look over the course of 3 months, let's say, I'm still doing all these little habits, and you probably are too. You're probably meeting your intentions. Maybe you want to be getting your kids outside. Maybe you want to be teaching them a certain skill. Maybe you want to eat family dinners with them. It doesn't need to be every single day, but when you look back and when your kids look back, they'll remember. They'll remember that happened, and often you'll do something once ever, and then kids will say, oh, remember how we always used to do this? So whatever you are doing and however much input you can give is enough, and it is recognized, and it is appreciated, and it is having an impact, and it is creating the outcomes that you want to have. So recognize that and stop feeling like it has to be every single second of every single day. If you can find 10 seconds to respond well to your kids, to play with them, to listen to something that they're interested in, to answer a question, to say yes when they want you to sit down and draw with them, or look at what they're doing playing a game, or go outside and shoot basketball hoops. Even if it's a small thing, even if you're not taking them on massive adventures, if you're responding in these little ways, you're being such a great mum, and it means so much to them, and you need to give yourself kudos and feel good about it. Take the pressure off. Feel the joy when you have it, and love and appreciate yourself. Now, the other thing I was just going to say is, even if you can just say a positive phrase to them, say, like, compliment your kids, say something good to them. And I do have that as part of my ADHD Mums Reset in the resource library, but I'm going to rejig things around a little bit. I'm going to change my freebies and my offerings, but you can always message me on social media if you want to see that positive phrase toolkit, which I was just about to mention. I was leading up to it and then I forgot to actually say the thing. It's, I think, like 50 phrases of things that you can say to your kids, and you can just look at this. You can print it out, you can stick it like in your bedroom closet or somewhere that they don't see, but you can see. And if you want to say something positive to your kids, if you want to boost them up a little bit, you can just have a look and go, oh yeah, that's a phrase that I can say to them. And it might be something like, oh, I really appreciate the way you said that. Or, oh, I love how much confidence you have. Whatever it might be. And doing little things like that makes a big difference as well. And that's, that's not purely about your joy. I've said how to be a happier mom, but I do know that it reflects back, right? We want to feel good about how we're parenting, and we want to feel good about ourselves. So a lot of this has been about how to find joy with our kids, and the joy of motherhood, and the joy of parenting, even when you are bogged down in the middle of it. So I hope it's been helpful. I'd love to hear if you want to share on social media what your favorite of the 10 is. I wonder what my favorite is. A lot of them are my favorite. These are principles I live by. So I like a lot of them. All of them. I believe in it all. So to wrap up, what I'm letting go of is the need to do everything, and it being January feels a little bit like that. I'm getting a little bit more into the discipline feels instead of the devotion ones. So I'm just taking a bit of a breath back and reminding myself. That's funny, I said breath back. It's like step back and a bit of a breath. I like that. I don't know if it makes sense, but I like that. I'm taking a breath and a step back. And reminding myself just to relax on it, and the outcome is what I want. The outcome is to feel good. And if I get too bogged down in the actions, it's not going to feel good. So I'm letting go of needing to do everything, and I'm focusing more on the feelings again. And I'm letting in. So I'm letting go of needing to do everything, and I'm letting in celebrating everything. So noticing, like I said, that over a larger sample size of time, I'm doing all the things, even if they're not every day. I am managing to connect with my kids more, and play more, and go on adventures, and get to sleep on time, and wake up early. And it's not every day, but it's a good amount of the time. And there's not going to be a day when I do all the things. That would just be time consuming and exhausting, and I'd feel like a robot going through the motions. But it feels like I'm on the kind of, it's kind of like being at a resort and there's heaps of different activities, and you don't do all the activities every day, but you can go back and repeat the activities, and it feels like it's going well and I'm making the most of my time here at the resort. And then I'm doing all the things and I'm getting my money's worth and I'm eating the buffet breakfast. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm doing enough and I'm not just lying in my hotel room all day, because that's what it sometimes feels like if I'm just not doing enough, I guess, not meeting the 5 pillars of, mind, body, emotions, environment, and soul, my 5 pillars for well-being. If I'm like sleeping in too much and I'm not moving my body enough and I'm not having enough play, there's like a threshold, like if my pillars say that there's a full 5 pillars and there's a strong foundation, if my pillars are all like at a halfway mark, then my foundation's lower and it obviously doesn't feel as good. Like my baseline is lower. So at the moment, I feel like I am, I don't know, there's a saying, running on all 4 cylinders, but I don't know if that metaphor is really working here. Maybe it's like my garden's growing, but all the plants are pretty good at, like, they're low care plants. Like, I don't have to water them constantly. They don't need constant attention. They are thriving without too much effort. That's kind of how I feel right now, that I'm doing really well and feeling good despite not doing everything at once. And despite, like I said, I've had a tired few days, but I've still done the things. Like, I went on the treadmill even if I didn't feel like it, and it was like 10 minutes of slow walking, so it was kind of pointless, but I reinforced that neural pathway in my brain, so I'm proud that I did it. Or I could have done something different, and I actually did paint with my kids this morning before I went on the treadmill because my body felt kind of stiff, and that was nice to just shuffle things around a little bit and do that nourishing activity, connecting with my kids, and to feel like that cup is filled, because that's one of my intentions. So it's like pouring things into the different cups, or pouring a bit of water onto all the different plants. And so when I went upstairs, my body was a little bit more awake, and I went on the treadmill, and again, it was a bit slow, but I did it for longer than I did yesterday. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode. If you want to see more of me, you can go and check me out on social media. If you're only listening to this and you want to see my pretty new dressing table. It's like a distressed painted mint color. It's all vintage, and I decorated it. It's fresh for the new year, and I'm happy because one of my intentions is to make my bedroom a little bit more exciting. That's where you are, in my bedroom right now, and you can see all the decorations I put on it, and yeah, I'm loving it. Anyway, so you can check me out on YouTube as well. I've had enough talking, and it's definitely bedtime. Thanks for listening. I will see you in the podcast next week. Bye.